Hey, Tom here, flipping. You can get it on Amazon, Kindle, and Audible. Also have a mentoring class. If you have the book, if you read the book, and you want to take it a step further, you can. So, this millionaire mindset stuff, I hear it get used loosely by a lot of people that actually aren't millionaires, and a lot of people that didn't make their money necessarily by the way that they teach or they profess to teach. It's not that hard to figure out. I come from very modest means, and it was pretty simple. I didn't want to be poor. I didn't want to struggle. As a kid, my family struggled. It was powdered milk and free lunch at school and shitty clothes and going to Goodwill, digging through the trust stuff, and just a lot of crap from Kmart. But so it's not hard to be inspired to better things. So that's probably an advantage that I had that some people don't have that are raised in, say, more middle class than I was. I was kind of low middle class for a while. But I see people trying to, push this mindset thing like they got a brain, they got like a picture of the cranium and the brain, and they're saying this and that. And it's not that hard to figure out. You don't want to be broke. You want better things when you start to get on the trail of making money, and that could be just doing something you're good at, and if you do know how to do anything, just get really good at it, or be really good at your job. And I'm checking on one of my houses here right now. We're gonna spray. That's it, be right there. Right? It doesn't matter, I'm not going to show it to you, but you'll see it. You've already seen some pictures of it. But find something that you're good at. And here's the thing: if you kind of enjoy what you do, you'll be better at it. I was lucky that I got into real estate so early. I've been doing it since I was 19. That's 40 years now. And the things I've been able to do. In fact, here's a building. Here's one of my buildings. I built this building about 20 years ago. Let's see if you can see this. It's over there, way over here. It's a big building. It's about 16,000 square feet. And I've always been a numbers guy. I've always understood numbers, and you got to be good at math. You got to be able to add and subtract. That's probably one of the most important things. Is just simply being able to understand math, right? And just understand that listen. I try to make money every day. In other words, I like to be worth more every day, and that's probably where you ought to start. Is try to be worth more money every day. It'll really make you conscious of of uh, of staying ahead of the game, right? In other words, always make more money. In other words, like you want to know that at the end of today that you're going to save some of that. You're not going to spend it. I'm looking. This is fence I'm putting into. I'm sorry. We're going to tour some properties while I'm doing this, and I'm just checking this out here. Take a look. I'll get back on subject here. See all these posts? These just got put in to block off that chevron that you see there. And place is looking great. Yard's looking groomed. Got all that nasty stuff out of the backyard. There's still some more there. Got bamboo getting rid of. Uh, Widen the driveway. You can see here. Ooh, they got a lot of lumber there. I worry about my lumber getting stolen right now. But you can see, place looks really great. And I'm going to make some money on this, which I don't want to change subjects too much, but this is a really, really good time to buy and sell. Sometimes it's good. It's always good time. Listen, you can always make money. Good times are bad. But right now, interest rates are low. So if you buy it right and you get that interest rate, that's going to serve you well. But also, the values are going through the roof. So you don't want to pay full retail. You'll really pay for it later on. So if you can buy under market and take advantage of the low interest rates, you're going to just be miles and miles ahead. By the way, here, take a look. That's my old restaurant. See that? I added 100 seats to that place. Um, Again, that's a place. The reason I own that restaurant is because one of the people that rented from me, because I own 4 houses in a row there. the one that I just showed you. I own one on each side of it, and another one across the street, and then all the way to that restaurant. It was one of my tenants that would go over and get her Mexican food there, every other day. Well, she goes over there and sees they're closed, and it says, "We're closed. We're selling the place." She called me for his thing. I made a deal that day to buy it for 720,000. I forget it all the time. It's either 720,000. Got incredible interest rate. I think 2.5%, maybe 3. And I flipped that property and made a couple hundred grand. I gave my tenant $5,000, just a referral fee. And that's the other thing. You want to kind of share the wealth when you can. And here's another building behind me right here. I have to check on this one. I got a problem with the homeless jacking with my property right now till we end this homeless crap, because they're really a pain in the ass. And nothing against the homeless, but they get used and abused for other reasons. Anyhow, this is a building. You can see back there, there's some play equipment. This used to be a nursery, a kiddie care school. Anyways, but if you can take advantage of the interest rate that you got right now, I mean, you'll be miles ahead. But back to this millionaire mindset stuff, just concentrate on making money. Try to make more money every day. Keep more money, in your pocket. Keep most of it that you put in, and it's really simple. If you listen to like Ben Mala, who Ben Mala I identify with a lot, he doesn't seem overly educated, and but he understands basic math and working hard, and that's really what it takes. Just you got to work hard, and a lot of people get deterred by the idea of having to work hard. But let me tell you, if you love your work, working hard is fun. You're just enjoying it, and that's part of the game. Going out and finding stuff that's under market, get it, figure out how to buy it. You can always get the money. Finding the money is easy. Finding the deals what's tough, and you'll learn how to do that from me, from my book, and guys like Ben can tell you some good stuff too. He's kind of an added value guy. He likes to fix up a lot, and I've done. You guys know I've got tons of video on fixing things up. Just get active and don't let up, and don't let people dissuade you. Don't let a football game and sitting around drinking beer rob you from looking for a deal, looking for another deal. I mean, to me, that's one of the tragedies, is people that sit there and watch sports, and when they could be working on a property that's making them 10 grand that week. And those are the kinds of things, you can call it a mindset or whatever, but the bottom line is, it's just common sense. You're not going to make any money sitting on the couch, and if you're pursuing hobbies that don't make money, you're not going to make any money doing that. The money is in, have a hobby that pays, right? People bargain shop. A lot of women, they run around and they coupon cut, and they, and not just women, but they look for deals. Well, just take that same mentality and put it toward buying property. You're just trying to find stuff under market, or everything you buy should be an investment. So everything you buy, it should be worth more than you paid for it. And if you're a bargain shopper on everything, especially things that are big, then you'll save big. And I tell people all the time, it's like buying a car. Everybody goes buys a car at some point, and most people do their due diligence and take time to look for the best deal they can possibly get. Well, waste all that effort. You spend a month looking for a car, and then you get it under market. You get one that's a good deal. You realize, everything's 10 grand, and then you get one that you can buy for 9 grand, and you go, okay, great, saved $1,000, or what a fair deal is. Well, it's the same with real estate. But the difference is, in a car, you get your car, then you stop looking. Well, you could just keep looking for that same car for over and over and over. And when you find one for 7 and it's worth 10, you buy it and you flip it and you make 2 grand. Well, same with houses. You're looking for a home to buy. Oh, I finally found one that's a decent deal. And then you buy it and move in. Well, you don't have to stop there. You can keep looking for the same house you've been looking at and looking for, but Because you're going to know what they're worth. You're going to know better than anybody what that property's worth because you've looked at so many things and made the comparisons, which is pretty much what an appraiser does, right? And believe me, I have appraisers call me, and they know. Listen, nobody knows property values better than the guy that buys them, okay? Because he's hanging everything on it. You're putting real money up when you're a buyer, when you're an investor. So nobody knows values better. And in fact, I just had a big fight with an appraiser, a property assessor, and because a lot of them don't know what the hell they're doing. They're lazy. They're about the worst appraisers there are. I don't even think many of them could even make it in the real world. But and I had a forensic appraiser. I had somebody really, really good with me in the room to speak to the numbers, and I'm speaking to the quality of the properties as an investor. Anyways, when you live it and breathe it, you'll know it better than anybody, and it's that simple. It's not that complicated. You you're looking for bargains. You're trying not to make buy anything that is retail. Don't buy anything retail. Everything you should buy. This car I bought was a decent deal. The building that I'm in front of right now, this thing here, is worth a lot more than I paid for it. The day I bought it, it was a great deal. The house I bought a week ago, same thing. It was $100,000 right there, and that's just one little piece. I'm closing a strip center next week. Again, super good deal. I got another one I'm working on, which that's the other one I'm kind of excited to share with you. I haven't got it yet, but it goes back to I've been beating up on this seller for 2 years, and they got it under contract. Well, guess what? It's going to fall out. I know it's going to fall out because I know the guys that are buying it ain't going to make it, and they're exhausted. And when it falls out this next time, my backup offer is going to be sitting there as a backup offer, and when they drop, I'll get it. And that's the other thing. You got to know, don't give up. Just because you think something's sold, don't give up. It ain't sold until it's transferred. And so when something appears to be sold, you bang on that door and you harass that seller and you let them know, look, I'm going to buy. I want to buy this. And you get yourself in the second position because the guy in the first place, he often slips. I don't care how talented they are, how great they think they are, or how great the seller thinks the buyer is. They're not that great. In fact, one of the agents I was talking to today, he's one that I got a great deal on. I bought a school. I bought a school. I actually bought an elementary school from the school district, and it was a blind auction. I went in, I bid on it, I didn't get it, and then it fell out. In other words, the guy that offered the most didn't come through. And so I think this went up a third time. And the third time I wrote him, I said, hey, stop taking the highest offer and take the one that's going to close. I said, I'm going to close. And they were looking at these big groups. Listen, never be intimidated by another group that's buying. When a group's buying, just laugh and tell it, say, oh, yeah, you got 10, 20 decision makers. You ain't going to close that deal, because there's too many people in the group, too many people to check with. Where if you're a one-man show, you go, I'll take it. And you don't have to check with anybody. And that's why I tell you, you got to make it your own. You got to make your own passion. People that rely on their spouse or people that rely on a partner is super weak. Don't do it. If you feel like you got to lean on your wife or vice versa, I got mostly men watching me. Don't do it. You got to be able to do it on your own. You shouldn't need a partner. I mean, I in the very beginning, the reason I needed a partner, I needed him for money, and that's it. And as soon as I had enough of my own, I was done. I didn't need a partner anymore. I was buying with my own cash, and that is the position of power that you want to be in. And then, I guess if you can find enough deals, you can maybe take a partner. I got a partner that I took in $70,000 from him on a deal I bought about 25 years ago. And I've been trying to talk him out of his property for years. He wouldn't sell me his, but he says, Tom, I'll invest with you, but I ain't selling you anything of mine. And that's kind of a joke. If you sell it to Tom, you're probably selling it too cheap. But what I told him was, I said, you could be in this deal. He pitched in 70 grand. That 70 grand is worth probably $2 or $3 million now. Those are the kind of deals that you can make. Oh, did you have? Yeah. Hey, thanks. Yeah, I'm streaming and I'm exhausted. I didn't get sleep till 3 o'clock last night. Get too much going in here right now. But all good stuff. There's nothing better than, it's like when I'm kept awake, the problems are good problems. It's like laying awake for Santa, okay, because you want to open your gifts in the morning. That's the kind of that's the kind of anxiety I've been living for years. Is like, oh, it's Christmas again. I got another deal. Oh, it's Christmas again. I got to get this closed. And I'm just sitting there thinking about what I'm going to do with my new birthday gift. I'm going to paint it. I'm going to maybe replace a few air compressors, air conditioners. I'm going to build a new pylon sign. If you don't know what pylon signs are, those are the big signs that you see in front of the big strip centers. I got a few strip centers and another one that I'm buying right now, and I don't like the sign. I'm going to redo it, and it's my way of showing the tenants that, hey, I care about the property. I'm going to make it look really nice. And of course, the rents are going to go up a little bit because they should go up, but it's really important to. It's just basic, okay? So I'm going to get past this mindset stuff. That's why the thumbnail says you want to be wealthy. And I don't care if you're young, 40, 50, however old you are. It's really simple. It's really simple. And people say, oh, you can't make it that simple. No, it is. You can't spend you got to save enough that you can put something down, okay? And then when you buy, you got to have a plan. It's got to be after you buy it, what do you do then? What do you do after you buy it? Are you going to sell it? You should be buying it under market so that you can sell it and make a profit, and or be strong enough that there's enough cash flow that you can hold it. If you can hold it, that's great. Hold it. But at some point, especially when you're new and starting, you need cash. You need cash. If you happen to be somebody that you can just keep getting low down payments, or low downs and buy stuff, you can accumulate a lot of property. But most people, you buy one and then all of a sudden you go, well, I got $50,000-$60,000 equity here on your first earliest deals. It could be $500,000-$600,000 equity, depending on where you're at now. But so you sell it because you took 10 grand, you bought something and made 50 or 100. Now you need to take that 50 and go make 5 more of those deals. 10 grand, 10 grand, 10 grand. And now you'll turn that 10 grand into 5, that 50,000, turn 10 into 50, you can turn 50 into 500. Okay. And that's how it works, is you keep parlaying your profits into bigger and better deals. And they don't even have to be bigger, but they can just be more of the same. You can do more of the same deals, or you can do bigger and better, or you can do both. Let's see. Okay, what's this say? Have your kids gotten the real estate bug yet? Nope. Well, one of them has a little bit. Uh, how does the channel have under 100K? I don't know. Do I listen? I'll tell you what. I have the fewest subs, and I think probably the most credibility, to be quite honest, because I've already figured it out. It's entertainment. It's just entertainment. Most people just want to be entertained. They don't really care about making money. So the people that drift into my channel actually care about making money. So you're probably among the smarter of the. I say the masses are the asses all the time, and because they are. But so you're probably not in the masses. You're probably in that, that 20 percentile, the 20 percenter group that there's fewer of us, but we make most of the money. And we think more about, you're on the right track. I'm telling you, if you're watching me, you're on the right track. Because the people that want to simply believe, oh, mindset, I'm going to be thinking, you got to be doing. Selling can be hard. Yeah. Hey, Liam, how you doing? Liam's awesome. Liam's in here right now. He's a carpenter like me, and he took the class about a year ago or less, and he's just parlaying, his money into more and more, and being a handy guy is really good for him too, because he can do fixer uppers and stuff like that. But one of the best deals he just made really had nothing to do with using his hands. He used his head. He made a deal. Okay, he got it under market, and that's Liam right here. And I'm really excited about that apartment complex you bought, Liam. That is really cool. And what's nice is like I said, I get to have my every day feels like Christmas to me, and that's what kept me awake last night. Well, I get just excited when somebody in my mentorship like Liam calls me and says, "Hey Tom, look what I got. This is what we're doing." And it's like I take it personally. I want him to get that deal. If I can help him any way I can, I do. I help everybody that's in my mentorship, and it's just awesome. It's just it's like if you've ever had kids, you raise your kids, you get to live their excitement when they see snow for the first time. You get to live their excitement when they see the beach for this first time. Well, it's kind of cool for me because I get to see my students live like, wow, this is a real world. You can make a ton of money just by doing some very simple stuff. But it is work. But listen, if you're afraid of hard work, don't. This is not the channel for you. And and most people aren't. And that's why I have so few followers. I mean, I think I'm going to hit. I don't even know what I have. 13,000, 12,000. I don't know what it is. It should be 120,000. But most people just want to be entertained. They want to see, I was on the Porsche lot the other day, and I was looking at new Porsches. There's a new Cayenne coupe. I'm in a Cayenne right now, and they have a new one that's about 600 horsepower and just beautiful car. It's beautiful. And I was looking at another one too. I forget what it was, 911 or something. It's pretty neat too. But those are the things that are eye catchers, and those are the things that mesmerize people on YouTube. Yeah, owner carry. That's great, Liam. Those are the things that people get carried away in cars, and they dream, oh, it'd be great to have a car. Listen, I don't care about looking good. I want to feel good. And so, like when Chris Krohn or one of these other guys or Grant Cardone, they're sitting in a $200,000 car. I mean, I'm sitting I've got a building in front of me that's worth 15 or 20 of those $200,000 cars. Okay, that gets me excited. But people see me walking through a building that's worth $2 to $4 million, and their eyes glaze over. Just a building. You know, wrong way to think. This building in front of me, I can live off just the income from this building that's in front of me right now, and I got a bunch of these buildings, and that's that's exciting to me. And it doesn't matter. I'm tired. I've worked hard. Liam's probably, I bet Liam worked hard today, right? Tell me, Liam. I know you worked hard today. You always do. And, but you're exhausted and you're tired at the end of the day. And, sometimes I do a lot of stuff that, I could pay somebody 10, 15 bucks an hour to do. But I do it because I'm making my customer happy. It could be taking care of a tenant, or it could be, it could just be, taking my spare time and driving. I had to, going to look at something where there's just a slight chance that it's a deal, but I'm going to drive an hour, or I'm going to stop in the middle of my day and give up doing something maybe that's a little bit fun, and I'm going to go do this instead because there's a chance that I'm going to make money. Some people just want a sure thing. They won't take the risk of giving up 10 minutes or an hour for a chance to make money. They want a sure thing. And so, they say, no, I'd rather, watch a football game because that's entertainment for sure. But anyways, so let's a couple comments here. Tom, audio today is better than from your studio. Yeah, thanks. I don't doubt it. You know what? It's probably just as well because I don't have time to be in there anyways right now. Um, I've got so much content in my phone that I haven't shared with you. I put a video out the other day that came straight off, just produced it on the phone, and that's kind of how I started. But a lot of you guys like the raw stuff, and you should because it's real. And uh, right now, I've got a tenant moving in. I got floors going down tomorrow. In fact, I'll flip it on live tomorrow, and I'll show you what I got going on the crooked house, I call it. I got a tenant moving in there the 28th. I was at Lowe's yesterday buying washer or dishwasher, and range. And I like to buy nice stuff, but right now I can't even get. They're running out of the stuff. They're having a hard time with inventory, and so I try to cookie cutter stuff. I try to buy the same thing all the time. I buy the best fridge, the same fridge. I buy the same dishwashers. I buy the same all that stuff. I just buy the same. I know it works. I'm familiar with it. I know where the power goes in the back behind the range so that it doesn't interfere with the thing sliding all the way back. Let's see. Not long at all. Boys are graduating soon. Do you pay yourself a salary? Do I pay myself a salary? Well, I mean, I, you know what? I'm glad I don't even have to think in those terms. I just have everything that I want, and you know, I take out whatever I need to do whatever I want to do. And I'm not high maintenance. I like good wine. In fact, that's why I'm standing right here right now. I'm going to grab a bottle of wine. I get cases from Napa. I'm kind of particular about what I get. So I'm going to grab a bottle of wine, go drink some wine tonight. And but yeah, no, I mean, so do I pay myself a salary? Yeah, I mean, if I know I need, whatever, X amount to live a month, there's always that much around. But I mean, no, not necessarily. I mean, I make money, and I just take what I need to live and do what I want, take care of my kids, and then the rest I reinvest. I just keep reinvesting over and over again, and that's it. It's a great lifestyle. I hope everybody gets to enjoy it like I have. It's just a wonderful lifestyle to be able to write checks and not have to borrow much. Or when I borrow for buildings. I don't borrow for cars. I don't borrow for, things. Tom, do you have an interest in investing anywhere abroad? Not really. Not really. I was looking at a place in Hawaii once, but you know what? I don't get there often enough to justify it. I'm looking at buying a beach house in uh, in California too. I like the weather there, but in all honesty, I don't like California. Uh, do you wait a year to sell or just sell outright? Well, Delta, it, this is one of the benefits when you're at my level. I can hold if I want to, right? In other words, if I flip, I'm going to pay more taxes on it. If I flip before a year's up, I'm going to pay more tax, about twice the tax on something you flip inside of a year as opposed to flipping over a year. So I generally like to just sit on stuff for a year. But if I think that next year is going to be tough, and I'll just flip it right now. It just depends on the property. There's some things I can buy and I can sit on a long time because they make money. But if it was a house, and I would urge you right now, if you get a house under market, just flip it. Take your profit and go. Uh, just take your profit and go right now. You can parlay it into another property too. It just depends on your financial situation, which everybody's is different. But if you got the money, of course, it's always great when you can just reinvest every cent of profit that you make back into another deal. And if you kind of compartmentalize where you have this building, this building, this building, this building, this house, this chunk of land or whatever, and then when you sell it, you can take all of that profit and parlay it and tax defer it into buying something new. I deferred, and one of the things I'm doing right now is I'm deferring houses that I made a lot of money on that I held, and not very long, some of them, but at least a year, and I'm rolling that profit into buying another building. And so I'm taking a group of properties that are owned by one entity, and what I'm doing is I'm doing a reverse 1031. I'm buying the building, and then with the building bought, then I'm rebuying the building back from the accommodator that holds the asset. Anyways, you need to talk to it's pretty simple, but that's just taking advantage of the tools that are available to us through our tax structure. But so that's what's happening right now. But Liam, I'm glad you popped in. Delta, always good to see you in here. Stay out of Cali. I agree. Yeah, that's why it's like a boat. Think about a boat. It's vacation stuff. I can rent a boat. I don't have to have a boat necessarily, I break it down to that because I've owned a boat for a long time. But a lot of times you don't need a boat. Uh, a lot of times you just need to use one when you want one, and it kind of goes for me with a beach house. I rent a beach house down in Manhattan Beach, Hawaii, on the shore in Lahaina. I like on Front Street. That's a place I like to hang out. Taken my family there many times, and I don't need to own it. I don't need to own those types of properties. What I need to own is these types of properties that are in front of me, that that just have rent, that just bring money in, just cash flow. Once in a while, of course, vacation is not it's an investment in family. That's a wonderful thing. Spend money on going to places, and that's just the benefit of what you get to do once you succeed and you get to that point that you have that extra cash. So hey, please subscribe to the channel. And if you're new here, I'd never steer you wrong. I'll never lie to you. I don't care if you take my mentorship. I do think you ought to spend $10 on my book, but it's not because I need your money. I just think you'd be cheating yourself And it would be a shame for you to, buy my book a year from now and go, gee, I just wasted a year of not having it. Do you utilize third-party property management? Yeah, I have third-party manager, sure. Uh, let's see, somebody wrote here, I am not afraid of debt, but when is it too much? Well, it can be too much if you're over leveraged. Uh, Nobody's talking about it. How much more debt would you take if you have 250,000 in equity and several properties, and 70K debt and 25K from a job? Okay, let's just start with the first one. If you have about $250,000 equity in several properties, you got. I mean, what's the delta when you say you got? I mean, if you have, uh, you know, $10,000 equity in 25 properties, I'd say get rid of them all, because that's one little move of the market, and that 10% can be gone that you're operating on. So every property's different, right? I've got an asset here that I know is not going anywhere, that is going to give me income, and it's well located. Now, it can go down in value, and that's okay. It still has rent coming in. The rent's going to come in no matter what. Now, sure, the business could go out of business, but this is a prime property. You can see the traffic going by. It will fill up again. So that kind of property is awesome. But if it's a house, and it's, there's tract homes and going up and all this other stuff, and they're building the third phase and selling the third phase of the homes cheaper than they sold the first phase 3 years earlier, you're in deep shit. And you don't want to get yourself in that kind of a position where, you know what I mean? So everything's different. Everything's kind of different. But the bottom line is you don't want to be over leveraged. In fact, my banker was kind of nice to hear this. My new banker, I'm buying another building, and he said, hey, you know what? We can help you with this. Because I told him about another deal, and he goes, you're certainly not over leveraged, and I'm probably the least leveraged I've been in my life. Now, I have, when you first buy, look, I bought $10,000, put $10,000 down on a $120,000 commercial building when I was 19 years old. Yeah, so I was 90% leveraged, a little more than 90% leveraged. I got no choice. That's how you start. When you start, that's how you start. But when you get more established, you can deal with 75% debt to rate to ownership. And then when you get wealthier, then you can deal with, owning, having 25% debt. And the rest is just equity. And then you can have that comfort zone. That's kind of where I'm at. I've got a lot more income coming in. And what I can do is I can live through any downturn with that kind of equity. I can live through any downturn, but also I can take chunks of cash, and I could go buy a property 100% financed, and it wouldn't matter because there's so much equity in all the others. As globally, I'm not very leveraged. Okay, talks about assignments, which is basically wholesaling. Yep, I've done a lot of that. Hey, Roberto, glad to see you. Tom, I'm closing a fourth deal. Wow. All right. Yep. That's awesome, Rui. Roberto, sorry, I always do that to you. This time it's a building with 2 apartments. Thanks for your help. Yeah, so this is another student or pseudo student. He got the book. We've been, talking over things. In fact, I got to interview you for sure. But you made $36,000 on your first deal, didn't you, Roberto? And I think he's in Portugal. And I apologize. I'm getting old. I'm not so gray on the outside, but I'm gray on the inside. Okay, Mark Road, he loves the book. Sounds like you have done hundreds, if not thousands, of deals. No, not true. I mean, I've done hundreds. How much total real estate do you think you've done? I don't know. That's a good question. I can tell you I have tens of millions, but I've never even thought about doing the math about how much I've rolled through. But I can tell you, don't measure success in deals. When somebody says I've done 1,000 deals, that stinks. Okay, when somebody says I've done 1,500 deals, I've done over 500. That means zero, okay? That means zero, because they could have done 1,000 bad deals, okay? It means nothing. And listen, I believe in quality, not quantity. And I've done hundreds of deals. Don't get me wrong. I know I've done hundreds. 1,000, no. I haven't done 1,000, but I've done hundreds. And I've made anywhere from $5,000 to a couple $1,000,000 on these different deals that I've done, everywhere in between. And it's a lot of money, even $5,000. I remember the thrill of making. Listen, you buy something and you resell it in a week, and you make $5,000. That's fantastic. And it's just wonderful. And relative to how much money you got or how much you make, $5,000 might be a lot, but it's still a nice chunk. I like $5,000. I have a term I call it $5,000 to death, and that happens to me a lot. It's like in a week, 2 or 3 air conditioners go out, and they're each $5,000. Carpet got flooded, $5,000. Roof leak, $5,000. So $5,000 is nice because it can eliminate one of those troubles. So, anyways, I got to get some wine and get out of here. I always enjoyed sharing and talking. I appreciate you coming in here and sharing, especially my students. It really, really inspires the other students and people that are new here. Please subscribe. Just sign up and just subscribe to the channel. If you can get my book, this will be the best $10 you've ever spent. It's 20 in paperback. Nobody accuses me of trying to make money on books. I don't make much money on a book. I don't care. I couldn't give it away. The cheapest way I can get it out to you is by selling it as cheap as I do. That's all I can tell you. Hey, Tom G, I want to hear about that deal you got going too. I know you're working on something. But hit the like button. Helps the channel. Subscribe. I don't care if you're a housewife or you're somebody who doesn't have much time. You can make a lot of money in real estate, or just what you'll learn from watching some of my old videos. You won't be duped by one of these flakes that talks about the mindset, links below and all this other crap. Anyways, so I'm gonna see you later. I'm gonna go. Thanks, Liam. Thanks others for coming in, and look forward to some new viewers. And I'm gonna be doing a lot more field stuff, but I got some really cool stuff next week. I'm going to show you guys my new building. I'm going to show you my new building. It's going to close 29th. It's going to close 29th. I've already showed people in the mentorship, but I got a new strip center I bought. I'm excited about that. I've got some video that I've taken for the last couple of weeks. I haven't been sharing it because, I'm very cryptic about my deals until they close. With something else I would tell you, don't talk about your, don't count your chickens before they're hatched. Don't share your deals before they're yours. And, don't share them too early. You're chancing on losing them. So that's it. Flip anything. Please share, subscribe. Thanks for watching.